welcome to your timeless romantic soulmate contract read. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Join the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace, now available on Kindle, now on Patreon. The hits keep coming. The Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my beautiful cardinal air signs, my lovely Libras, my 7th housers. It's your gig. It's the soulmate read. Let's talk about it, shall we? If you are new to the channel, there's a link in the description box explaining what a soulmate contract is as opposed to a twin flame. There are some newer definitions that I think are much healthier than what's been bandied around for the past, I don't know, a couple of thousand years that you might want to check out in the description box below. But essentially what we are looking at is a soulmate contract, the foundation being that in any form, we're doing the romantic ones here, but they're not always romantic, you help each other heal, right, through the quantum entanglement of a soulmate contract. Very different than a twin flame, not going there right now. But the purpose of this reading is to look at where you and another soul are in the soulmate process and where you are in your contract. So, like a contract, what we're going to do is we're going to have party number 1 over here, party number 2 over here, and we will start it here, but we will finish it in the extended, the center lane, the state of the contract itself. So it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what does not, and check your other signs. If you got more than one romantic pot bubbling, I do. So, you know, you might want to check a couple of your sun, moon, rising, and or Venus on that. Or maybe to get information about the same relationship, the same contract. That being said, all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. If you want to check out what they are, there's other links down there. My book, How to Book a Reading with Me, and of course, to come play with me on Patreon if you wanna. We're having a lot of fun over there. Other than that, both feet on the floor. If you can, focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can for what I think is really important. We've been working on these soulmate contracts, the romantic variety, for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I think they're probably the trickiest, different than a relationship you might have in family, like a parent-child soulmate contract. The romantic ones are just harder, I think, in a different way than, it's not that family relationships aren't hard. They're hard too, but it's a different kind. You can't really walk away from family. I mean, you can, people do. But, you know, when it's a lover or romantic interest, you can just cut them out and never speak to them again. And a little different with family, friends, and coworkers. Yeah, okay. So that's about it. Both feet on the floor if you can. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. Breathe. It's a lot of explanation just to get to that deep breath. But you gotta do it every single time, apparently. So let's do this. I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved for the Libra collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. I need party number 1 and party number 2 in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. For the Libra watching this, give me a party number 1. What's their dominant 8th chakra archetype? And party number 2. Understanding that this can play itself out as divine masculine, divine feminine. You're going to have to figure out which party you are. And there's often mirroring in soulmate contracts. So you just got to go. You just got to roll with it. Wow, okay. We've got the Mystic in party number 1, and party number 2, the Goddess. Now, we just had the Mystic show up. Leo had this as a party number 1, but not that many repeats. That's only our first repeat of the series. The Mystic is a divine family archetype, learning how to develop different spiritual power within a particular lifetime. The goddess energy is a feminine family archetype. So again, this doesn't always play out to be divine masculine, divine feminine, but nor does having the goddess archetype immediately indicate that we're dealing with a masculine body, right? A male body, I should say. It's not about gender. God and goddess, masculine, feminine, yin, yang, all cultures have done that in a different way. This is a Western take, but to understand everybody has a divine family archetype and a feminine family archetype, as well as a healing and a survival archetype and all that. So let's look at this. The shadow is what needs to be healed. It's what you're helping each other heal in the relationship, even if you are unaware of it. And the weird part is even if you haven't met yet, I know it's that kind of read too, it's that general, because then when you do meet them and you start comparing stories and what you've been through, you're like, oh my God, I totally went through that too, a little bit differently. So you are helping each other heal, because we're all one ultimately. So the light is what you're shooting for here. The mystic, the shadow attribute, delusional rapport with the divine. Now, I'm a mystic year long, my whole life. I have had a very strong mystical bend to me. Spiritual power is pretty much everything to me. It's what allows me to do these readings, not just energetically, but to do them clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all. You got to keep your energy system pretty developed to do that on the regular. The light attribute revels in intimate union with the divine. Now, by the way, the goddess is a divine feminine vibe, just the word goddess, right, of the female deity. This could be a very, very interesting read. Revels in intimate union with the divine. I mean, I do know what that feels like. That's why I pray, because I can, not every single prayer, not every single prayer is the Rockettes and Radio City Music Hall. Sometimes, yeah, you get them, they're lovely. But there's always that sense of an intimacy, even though the divine is everyone at core, right? Is here, it loves everybody. When you're in that moment, it feels very personal. So it's simultaneously personal and impersonal. It's a little tricky paradox, right? So whoever this is, definitely a spiritual bend here for sure. But party number 2 with the goddess, the shadow attribute, exploitation of the female form, of the female nature and form. So, I mean, that could be somebody who does exploit that, although we usually don't think of that as a feminine family archetype, but why not? Exploiting the feminine, the female, does it really say? It says the female nature and form. So, you know, we've incarnated in different genders, as many genders as you want to say there are. You've been there before in other lives, or maybe this is the first time. But the soul is genderless. We incarnate, we reincarnate, so we get the full experience down here. So the exploitation of that, you could see, doesn't matter male or female body, that could be going on. The light attribute, the feminine, expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. So I know a lot of women in my life who just carry goddess energy. It's just part of who they are, but that's not necessarily a divine family. It's not necessarily spiritual energy, the goddess energy. Like Marilyn Monroe called her the goddess. We still do. We still call her the goddess. I mean, we can call other performers, female performers, divas, and occasionally goddess, but when really, in my generation at least, when we think of the goddess in terms of Hollywood, it's Marilyn Monroe. Now, I'm sure she had her spiritual side to her, but that's the va-va-voom that she gave was not from a monastery, right? It was definitely that sensuality. So this is cool. Let's keep going. Got a lot of cards. Remember, there's an extended for this. We go in on the in the extendeds over on VIMEO.com if you want to pay per view, or if you want all of them in one place, one price per month. Patreon / whatever, drawing the circle. All right, so we're going to do Daughters of the Moon Tarot on this side, Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit, a little element spread. We're going to do the same with the Mythic Tarot over here. Throw down some other cards, and then in the extended we're going to flip decks, because here we're going to get the Heart, Throat, Third Eye, Crown dynamic on this side. We're going to use these for the lower 3 chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus on this side. And then in the extended, we swap decks, so you get the whole picture. Please take a nice deep breath. You don't care. You don't care. Breathe. Because I have to say, this feels electric but smooth at the same time, right? Like, exciting, high vibe, but with that goddess energy, it's not frenetic. It definitely feels kind of smooth. I wouldn't say slick. It feels smooth. So here we go. As I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, please, 5 cards in clarity, element spread for the mystic in this Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate contract. What is their power of fire? What they yearn for, what they burn for, what their hearts desire in this soulmate contract. All right, pretty intense coming right out the gate. The 5 of Cups, the storm. Now, there is definitely an emotional upset here. I mean, 5 of Cups is just always a rough card, so it seems. I've never seen like a really peaceful, happy 5 of Cups that really kept with the basic minor arcana structure. But that could certainly be a card of emotional purification, a card of spilling the tea across the table emotionally, because what's it like after a storm, right? Yeah, there might be some stuff knocked over, but the air is clear. The earth has been watered, right? The ground is more fertile. So what's going on? That's what they want. So inside they want to have this change of emotion, at least inside themselves, heart, third eye, crown. What's their element of earth? The fuel to feed the fire, to ground and manifest their heart's desire in this, the star. So this is starting to come together. It usually does pretty quickly. If what they want is an emotional purge, an emotional shift, well, I mean, storms come and storms go. They're not permanent states. Neither is the 5 of Cups in any way, shape, or form. But we are looking at a heart chakra vibe here. Now, I know it's hard to think of a storm as a positive thing, but every tarot card is a spectrum of shadow to light, lead to gold, negative to positive, however you want to see that. So perhaps this is an emotional delusion outpouring, but what they have to do it is alignment with their source, an intimate union with the divine. To me, the star is the most spiritual card, highest vibrational card in the tarot, because just look in terms of altitude, you got the planet Earth, you got the moon, you got the sun, and then you got the star, like billions of fucking light years away. Right, so following your star, following your guidance, following your grace, and of course, as you see over and over and over in tarot, a thing of hope, right? That just keep going. Faith, even, which is certainly a word for the mystic, maybe not so much for the goddess, right? Depends on how that goddess manifests. All a goddess has to do is have faith in her own true self, which is the divine itself, which is true of all of us, though. Speaking of goddess, my goddesses, please, element of air for this mystic in the Libra. What are they thinking about this contract? 10 of Wands, there's a lot going on here on this side. Because the 10 of Wands, 10 of Flames in this deck, the Hora, it's definitely the completion of the cycle of fire, a desire that started at the Ace and made its way through the journey to the 10. It will reboot at the Ace again, as all cycles do. But this actually, I don't always go for that 10 of Wands being a burden, a heavy thing, right? It's very Rider Waite, and that's great. I feel it a little bit here, a little bit of mental stress, because what they are thinking about here in terms of the Hora, H-O-R-A-H, it is a dance, if you're unfamiliar, done at Jewish weddings, bar mitzvahs, and bat mitzvahs. I don't know if they do them other places. They might, I don't know. You know, everybody do your thing. You all do you. But I've been to a bunch, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a true celebration. So it doesn't really jive with that, you know, oh, I gotta get these wands. I'm almost home with my wands, right? They might very well be thinking not so much of ending this relationship. I don't think this is what this is at all. But wanting that celebration, wanting that fulfillment of their desire. They're thinking about it a lot, but their desire has to do with an emotional outpouring or a, oh, here's a word I don't use often, a sea change. SEACHANGE, a sea change in this relationship. Maybe someone's been holding back some stuff. Could be them, could be the goddess here. We don't know yet. Let's see. It's a general read. You got to feel that out. Could be both. Could be neither. Could be either. So what is the element of water here, please, my goddesses? Well, let's give that a nice butterfly there. A little riffle shuffle there. What is the element of water? Dig deep. What's going on for this mystic? I said from the ace. The ace of flames. Here we go. So we have the beginning of the cycle of fire here in water, and the completion in the element of air, the mind. So look, this might not have been consummated yet. This might be, maybe you have not met yet, and this is a mystic who's really doing their thing, lining up with their inspiration, information, insight, guidance, and grace, and really, really feeling inside of them the beginning of something new and passionate and fun, feeling it there, but thinking about it completed. Look, it's great I'm an event. I used to be an event planner, joined the Circle Productions spiritual event company. I've done lots of stuff around the world, but since we went digital, like how many events am I planning? Oh, let's do another video today. There we go, right? Book a client, book a tarot party. But you don't want to event plan it like that, right? Like, oh, but we do. Don't we? Libras. Oh, come on. I'm Venus and Libra. I know. Like, you meet somebody and there's that feeling. Look, my spine just went like that, and all of a sudden, dun, 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 dun. It's like, no! Slow it down. Slow it down. Ooh, watch out. So I could feel that, right? Because when someone's a mystic, and remember, dancing with the divine every day, intimate union, can make you really emotionally, not just intuitive or oversensitive, but very, very emotionally amplified, right? So you feel it deeply, 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 deeply. All right, what's the card of spirit then? The voice and point of view of the soul who incarnated to play the role of the mystic in this Libra happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. Okay, 4 cups. Yeah, there's something going on here where even the soul is saying there needs to be emotional release, right? Because this is emotional change. 4 of Cups shows a need for emotional release. In fact, the key word on the card is sorrow, but it ain't necessarily so, but I think it might be. I mean, there's a couple of different ways this can go. Obviously, it's a reading. You get different timelines, different stories. But even looking at why they want this 5 is because the soul is saying, because there is some dissatisfaction, there is some meh going on here. You know, like meh, M-E-H, meh, right? It can be sadness, but to me, this deck, a woman sitting at the beach, 3 cups spilled, 1 cup upstanding behind her that she can't see, that she may not remember is there, as the ocean waves, the lake, the sea, wherever she is, kind of ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. That there needs some emotional stuff to process here. I would certainly say that there's an emotional process in play here. The mystic might be saying, though, I wish we could just get on with this. I wish we could just, like, have this out, whatever this energy is between us. If you do know each other, have been together, just met, or maybe even just in their lives, right? They're like, I want to have this deeper emotional experience. I want to get, I mean, not to say that the mystic is necessarily monk-like, where they're not having emotional experience. Not that monks don't have emotional experiences, but there's a different archetype, the monk-nun archetype. This isn't that. This is the mystic. Mystics, I mean, Tantra. Tantra is a mystical thing, right? Look that up, T-A-N-T-R-A. I'm not going into that right now. It's a whole other universe. But really, really wanting that, because you don't think of 5 of Cups as something that's wanted, unless it really is unless there's like a stagnation, because this is just what, ebbing and flowing. This is at least rocking and rolling. You need to stir things up a little bit. Maybe they want to stir the pot a little bit. But I feel like what they're feeling and what they're thinking, they might have a larger picture in mind. But let's see what this goddess is doing here. Let's definitely take a look-see. Dixie, breathe. As I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, please, using the mythic tarot, lower 3 chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus, from the outside looking in, the inside looking out, for... We've got a goddess archetype here in party number 2. What's going on, element spread? Fire, earth, air, water, spirit. In their relationship, in this contract to this mystic. So what is this goddess's element of fire? What they yearn for, they burn for, their heart's desire with this mystic. Guys, see, it's like maybe I pulled the wrong card, except you both fucking have the 5 of Cups in your element of fire. Come on, there's only 1 5 of Cups in each deck, and you got them. You saw me do it. My eyes were closed. So you gotta look at that and say, all right, they want an emotional change. Now, here's the thing. Twin flames, I gotta do this. Twin flames are very turbulent. So that's why I often think, oh, twin flame energy, right? Twin flames are never really like calm and serene. That's soulmates are serene, satisfying. Go watch the videos or MatCon. At least do yourself a favor. Watch the MatCon video down in the description box. Soul contracts, twin flames, and soulmates redefined. You'll get it. You'll get it. But there might be this thing that you both want to like... I mean, unless you're both with other people and you really are meant to be together, because that's what a soul contract is. When people say we're meant to be together, it's like, well, you have a soul contract. Let's see. You may not mean to be together the way you might be thinking you are meant to be together, for sure. But maybe you guys want to weather a storm. Weather a storm together, individually or together, to get where you need to be. I just find that that's the first time I've ever seen that happen in a soul contract reading. I've been doing these for a while. Breathe. My gods, please, what's the element of earth, the fuel to feed the fire and manifest their heart's desire, what they have already in this going on? 7 of Swords. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pietra. I guess that's the feminine name of Peter. I don't know. Please don't cancel me. Definitely 7 of Swords. That they have the ability to be sneaky, to be covert. Sometimes for self-preservation and sometimes to preserve a relationship. I don't know. I kind of feel like with this 5 of Cups, this is beginning to make more sense from an air point of view, right? I could feel the vibe of it. But this one is like, look, if we gotta be covert about this, I get it. Because this could also be somewhat of a very stormy relationship if you're being kept apart from each other. Just saying. Right, element of air, what's the goddess archetype thinking about all of this with this mystic archetype in this soulmate contract? 3 of Pentacles, we have such a good solid foundation. We have such a good solid foundation, right? If only we could get it to the next stage, right? And that might be what that 4 of Cups, you guys might have hit a stall in this one. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong. It can mean that you both need the time that you need in your situation, because it's not cake yet. It's still hot batter in the oven, right? Whatever process you're going through individually or together, that you've only been able to get it to a certain stage. This is collaboration. So at least in the goddess's thoughts, there's this thing of, well, I know I can work this out with them, but where are we going to go from there? There seems to be more practicality on this side in terms of the element of air, Pentacles, and more passion and fire, and I want to dance with you and spend the rest of my life with you, kind of vibey vibe, right? With that that 10 of Wands. And, you know, the 10 of Wands doesn't last forever, whether you see it as burden or you see it as a dance of celebration, right? It's all a cycle. All right, element of water here for this goddess archetype, since we seem to have predominant element of water. 1, 2, 3 water cards, only 1 major arcana so far. No, 2, we've got, no, just the 1, just the star. All right, some fire. Yeah, all right, so please, what is the element of water here for the goddess archetype? In this Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract with this mystic, King of Cups. So there are deep feelings here, no question. The Cancer card, the King of Cups, cardinal water, can be very much a motherly thing. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, ruled by the moon. You want to think of the sun as God, the moon as goddess. That certainly works there. But there's an emotional maturity here, or if not an out-and-out emotional maturity, not saying that a goddess doesn't. I mean, there are goddesses of wisdom that are all about emotional maturity. But that they might be a little on the covert side, not necessarily revealing what it is that they're feeling. I mean, my mom's a Cancerian. I know. It's like, she made me a great empath. I had to feel what was going on in the room because she would not talk about it. It wasn't there. You know, it's very much, you know, clutch the pearls. What? Oh no, everything's fine. What do you mean by that? Moody? I'm not moody. Right? A queen. Well, here we've got the King of Cups here. So there is deep creative water. Home. 4th house dynamic of Cancerian, the 4th house there. This feels really good between the two of them. I just wonder what's going on between the two of them. You know, you guys might have to kick over some people's cups to be together is kind of the vibe I'm getting here. It's like the strategy seems to be on the part of the goddess here. The guidance and grace seems to be going on this side here. I just wonder what's standing, what or who is standing between the two of you, because that's sort of what this is feeling like. I mean, that 4 cups in the soul position is telling. It says, like, well, there is some sorrow. I don't feel like it's depression. Like the vibe on that card, at least with the Ace of Wands and in the element of water here, this is someone who might be getting bored, right? Or just tired, right? Needing some emotional release, and then to at least stir the pot into a 5 of Cups to move it to the 6, balance. So my gods, what's the Spirit card here? The card of the soul, the voice of the soul that was chosen to play the role of this mystic in this Libra contract with the mystic here. 8 of Pentacles, keep doing your work. Keep doing your work. Keep your head down. Now, this doesn't, it means keep working on this, certainly, for sure. But it is saying that you are in process, but don't give up now. You're at an 8. You want to get to your 10? Finish your 8. You can't have your 9 until you finished your 8. I almost went Pink Floyd. I didn't quite. I skirted. I was Pink Floyd adjacent-ish. The 8 of Pentacles is wonderful from the soul, saying that, like, look, just keep working. Head down, hammer and chisel, keep working this out, keep taking your steps, keep going, because this is a contract definitely where the love is here, but there's some stuff that needs to be gone through. And of course, okay, yeah, I got it. So there might also be work. You know, people say relationships are work. Relationships are work. I mean, soulmates just, it doesn't mean that you just always agree. It just means you always return it to love. You help each other heal instead of a twin flame where you teach each other how to heal yourselves, which sounds good, but my father was a twin flame contract with me. My mother is a soulmate contract. Really, the new definitions are really good. They're very beneficial. Instead of that codependent feed the beast kind of stuff that flows around the internet for the past, oh, well, as long as the internet has been around. But that goes back a really long time. I'm going to go back to Blavatsky and the Theosophists. So you want to go back to Homer of ancient Greece, not Springfield, just clarifying. Let's keep going. We're going to ask the higher selves of all involved here, using the Whispers of Love Oracle, what they have to say. One for the mystic, one for the goddess. Then we're going to get you a healing mantra from the Metcon Healing Mantra deck. And then I'm over to VIMEO.com and Patreon simultaneously, because that's the world we live in for the extent. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, somebody's got to... I'm feeling that energy building in my throat chakra here. Someone's got to bust a move. Someone's got to say something here. If this is secret and covert and hidden from the world, where the two of you are in some kind of agreement there with that Five of Cups, that's somebody's got to bust a move here. I don't know how much longer this can stay covert. I really don't. Not if you're both wanting that Five of Cups in a good way, right? Yeah, someone's got to speak up. It's so funny because I can feel it right here, right in between the heart and the throat chakra. It's like stuck in your craw. Somebody's got something stuck in their craw because there's no reason for this otherwise viscerally to be going on. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, Mal, you're so accurate. I'm like, yeah, well, my cell tissues carry a lot of the work for me. There we go. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, please, what is the Whispers of Love for this mystic and this goddess in this Libra collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract in progress, because we're finally at the time on planet Earth where we can be the gender we want to be and with the gender we want to be with. And, you know, there's still changes going on planet Earth for sure, but come on, we're free to do these now. What is the piece of information, inspiration, and insight for this mystic? And what is the piece of what is it? The Whisper of Love, 5th dimension and above, for this goddess in this Libra contract. Okay. All right. I would switch these two, but it makes sense both ways, I guess. The mystic has like attracts like. Well, as above, so below. It started off as a mystical phrase, now it's a fucking cliche, which doesn't mean it's not true. It just means it's been relegated to the realm of cliche, and we don't see how much as above, so below is actually how it rolls. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. Now, like I said, there's a scenario where these two have not met yet. Destined to meet, written, scripted, fated. There's a difference between fate and destiny, but you get the idea. Then for them to really knuckle down here in there, knuckle down, lighten up, right? Knuckle down to lighten up. Come into alignment here, your guidance and grace. Move through the emotional rough waters that you know you need to, you want to, you both apparently need to get what you want, to take what you're feeling in that ace, and you're thinking about it to get it to the 10. But the soul is saying, don't skip over the emotional work, particularly emotional release work. Nothing clears the air like a good storm, right? Or a good cry. So like attracts like. To use your prayer, use your mystical, your spiritual aspects of life to do what needs to be done. Revel in intimate union with the divine. Because if you've got that, it doesn't mean everything's going to go exactly the way that you want down here in the game, but you will know you cannot be shut off from source, and whatever happens, you are love. I know, it's a long way to go around the corner to be that which you already are. But here we have patience. We have patience. Love is patient and kind, always. So how this changes this for me slightly, it feels like the goddess does kind of want to bust a move, because they're thinking about it. It's like, well, we collaborate. It's like, you do that. Like, okay, like I'll put my stuff in a U-Haul and I'll leave it around the corner from your house and then drop off the keys in your mailbox. And, you know, like, it's like this could be a couple planning a great escape. Either one of them escaping to the other, or both of them escaping a situation entirely that because they want to knock some fucking cups over and do it in a sneaky way on this side. And they're saying, be patient. Hold your role. Yeah, you do have a good partner in crime here. Horrible phrase in this context with the sneaky, but I think you get me. And with this emotional maturity, that Cancerian thing, got a water card in the water position. It is saying be mature about this because they have the maturity. It's in there, right? The feminine expressed through wisdom as well as nature, life force, and sensuality. So to take, but it feels like if they're already in this bored place, that's not what they're going to want to do. But Libras, at least, whoever's the Libra, maybe they're both Libras, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, who cares? Trying to do this in a balanced and fair way, which is not real easy in this situation. This is why I won't do third parties. I got trapped into a third party for a bunch of years, and yeah, never again the third party times, especially with this Eight of Pentacles. Whoever this is, the soul is saying, head down, keep working, keep moving forward, have patience. This is a necessary part of the journey. It's like, do you want hot batter or do you want cake? Right? You want cake. Although hot batter someday sounds like a good deal in the winter, and I live in New York where it's fucking cold. Okay. Last card down, and then like I said, we'll jump over to Patreon if you want to come. Link in the description box. Or really, you can check me out on Patreon, man. All tiers have access to all the extended readings I've done past, present, and anything coming up future, and I fucking love Patreon. Such a relief. The Mekon Healing Mantra Deck, Voices of the Ascended Masters. Please take a nice deep breath. Tingle, 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 tingle. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Romantic Soulmate Contract Law for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, and or cross-watcher watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the perfect healing mantra for this contract? Doesn't matter which one's watching this, who uses it, but if they use it, it will help them get some leverage here, particularly with the element of air that we have here on the table, wanting to complete, right, this Hava Nagila, let's celebrate this. Definitely that feeling of things coming together in a fun way. The mind here of the Three of Pentacles, that they really have somebody that they can build a solid foundation. They have a solid foundation, but they want to build upon it. What's the perfect healing mantra for this mystic and this goddess in this Libra soulmate contract? Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And I'm going to read it from the bookie book, but I'm going to say, you guys are going to have to let go of some people. It feels like you're going to have to knock some cups over. If you're in unhappy situations and your guidance and your grace and you're doing the best that you can, somebody's going to have to bust a move here. And the thing is it's not that I don't see communication here between the two of you, but the only air card on the table is the sneaky. It's the Seven of Swords, right? So I don't know. Like again, it's a general read. If you were my client and you were on the other side of the cell phone or the laptop, we would absolutely dive into this. But this makes total sense. Transforming tragedy. In other words, yeah, it's going to be tragic if there's a marriage being busted up here or whatever. It's this one card here, but it's not just it's that you both have the Five of Cups and the element of fire. That the goddess has. Well, could she be exploiting the feminine nature and form? In other words, to be seductive and compelling and whatever, and for a shadow agenda, being a bit of a goddess there. I don't know. And this mystic, I could see, could very much be in conflict with that. But even their soul is saying, even with that card Sorrow, it's like, this needs to change. It will change. Because ebb and flow and flow never stops. But a storm comes and then changes everything. And then goes and comes again, right? All right, transforming tragedy. it makes sense, Sometimes it's not until that last piece of the puzzle hits the table, but this is definitely a situation where people need to leave people that they're with because the contract is over. It is done. It's that bag of lettuce that you bought last year that's sitting in the back of your fridge is just liquefied in its own little ecosystem now. It's like, it's time to go. The expiration date is gone on that one because it feels like you guys are going to have to knock over some tea to get together here. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. When tragedy is transformed, you see that endings foreshadow the inevitable arrival of exciting new beginnings. And that's what I'm saying. You guys have to end something in order to come together in a new way. That's why even if you don't know each other, that makes sense, right? It's like you're either one of you or both of you are really... It's this one. Feels like this one is the one that feels like they've got to break out of something there. But again, could be either side, could be both. And maybe there was some crap if you've been together before that needs to be released to come together. That just makes sense. It may not feel good to lose the things that once defined you, but it is life's way of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality. And passion, joy, and synchronicity would definitely replace that Four of Cups. Right? Definitely would be a place to move on from that Four of Cups for the Mystic here, and really a solid foundation, something that is really, really healthy and good for both of you, but it's going to take patience to get there. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains, and it is true. It's not easy. It's not simple, and it's not easy, but it's how cycles work. This mantra is ideal for overcoming personal struggles, mourning the death of a loved one, and releasing regret. Work, really, seriously. Work this mantra, whether you're the goddess or the mystic in this contract. And I think like attracts like, because you both want the same thing, but I think you both realize there's some emotional stuff that you just both have to go through to be together. But to also have patience with each other and with yourselves on this. I think that's always key, but particularly with transforming tragedy. And isn't that funny? You put cake batter into the oven in a pan and it transforms into cake. A change is like water, is like air condensing to water condensing to ice, right? You can change it back. You can't unburn a cake. There's something on Facebook about a pie and some woman and she burnt it, and I don't know, there seems to be a cult around it. I have no idea what it's about. I just keep swiping. I'm like, okay. So to transform your things here, you're gonna have to go through, it seems like, some hot water, bad metaphor with the cake, but to get what you both want on this, and it's gonna take patience. You gotta let it until it dings. Ding! Cake's on. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine to please bless the Libra collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, maybe their cross watcher, in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, that this mystic may revel in the intimate union with the divine that they have access to brave through this Five of Cups storm that they kind of need to go through, want to go through, following their star, following their guidance and their grace, really thinking about, that completion of it all. It's like we planted this seed, and in their hearts, that seed is still there. That ace of flames, that ace of wands, that passion, that spark is still there, even though on the level of the soul, there is sorrow. Maybe there is some loneliness. There is a little bit exhaustion from waiting, and maybe even a little meh every now and again if that's predominant. But so that they get that like attracts like, and if they're longing for more love in their life, particularly in this contract, they need to be more loving, and so they need to kind of love themselves through this and generate a little bit more element of water in this situation for themselves. And may this goddess really embrace the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Because they also have that Five of Cups. They want to go through this emotional rough spot. It's not the 10, it's the 5. They're halfway there, or at least they want to be halfway there. But with this Seven of Swords, they want to preserve what they can preserve. They want to keep it secret, keep it safe. And if that means being sneaky to protect something that they really care about, it's understandable. But they are definitely looking at this situation mentally as a solid foundation, a good collaboration that more can be built upon. And maybe what they're feeling is this person feels like home. This feels like a place where we would be safe to have our feelings and have our emotions wax and wane, right? Surge and fall again and again and again together. And it's going to be work. And there's work that needs to be done here, but it needs to be done patiently. Hence, have patience, for love is kind and patient always, as they both transform tragedy, because loss is their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And if they're really going to be breaking up relationships, maybe even quote-unquote breaking up families here, so that they can be authentic and follow their path, I get it. It's terrifying. It's a tsunami coming at you in terms of water. But that greater gifts are there to be received, and really, if you're not doing love, if you're not being authentic, then you're not surfing. You're walking on thin ice at any given moment. So may they transform whatever tragedy needs to go on here, or maybe whatever tragedy has already gone on individually or collectively here, that they may heal, grow, come together, and through that, anchor that healthy, romantic vibration of love into the Earth's electromagnetic grid during a time where the planet needs more love on the planet no matter what, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it, so motivate, and so it is. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a big to-do over in the extended reads. We got the Kuan Yin Oracle, the Blue Angel Oracle. We've got the flip-flop of tarot. We're going to look at the lower 3 chakras on this side, the heart, throat, third eye, crown on this side. I'm going to take a 2-minute break and dive in. So if this is where we part ways, thank you so much. If you like the video, please like it. Want more, subscribe. Want to play on Patreon? Link in the description box. Want to read my book? Link in the description box. Want to book me for a reading? Link in the description box. Otherwise, my beloveds, thank you so much, my scales, for showing up, for watching. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this soulmate contract. I hope it works out for you no matter what. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.